G'day, this is Subaru's Great Australian Detour. And the idea is pretty simple. We wanted to take this car, the all-new Subaru Solterra, an all-electric SUV, and show it to different parts of the country. So we're in the very western end of the Kimberley. I know it looks like Mars. We're taking it all over the place. So there'll be mountains, there'll be hills, there'll be turns, just everything you can imagine. And things you can't. Because the whole idea is to get out and see the country, to experience things, to meet new people, just to be part of Australia. I think you're going to love this series. It's genuinely special. I've come to learn that the open road is still the stuff of legend. It's not another time or another place, it's now, just as it's always been. Only you might have to search a little harder to find it. But there it is, off the freeway, connecting families to towns and stories, and what will become some of our fondest memories. Subaru's Great Australian Detour is a celebration of the long way, of seeing the drive as being just as important as the destination. So instead of racing past the best bits, enjoy the journey. Stop, turn off, take the odd detour. This is Australia, the greatest detour there is. This time on Subaru's Great Australian Detour, we head west for adventure, from the crocs of Kakadu to the camels of Broome, and everything else the Savannah Way has to offer, which, by the way, is a lot. We're taking an overseas pre-production model of the all-new Subaru Solterra, the all-electric SUV, to the top of Australia, to test it out on different roads and visit some pretty special places along the way. Up here, the infrastructure is limited, so you need to plan your trip properly, booking accommodation that allows charging and factor in the time needed. You will be drawn to Katherine Gorge, but if you're after something a little quicker, Katherine Hot Springs is the hot tip.
This place, Katherine Hot Springs, was a tip from a fellow traveller. Really important in the tip was disregard what you see in the car park and getting here, because this is the magic, and it is hot springs, and they're not hot. Beautiful. Katherine's a pretty amazing town, like arrives in the middle of nowhere, and it's where the outback meets the tropics. So there's a place in the road where it literally goes quite lush and then goes just fully orange. So looking forward to that. And it was named in 1862 by John McDouall Stewart, and he named it after the second daughter of a pastoralist called James Chambers. His daughter was Catherine with a C, but his wife was Catherine with a K. Do you think he named it after the wife? Do you think there's more to the story? I do too. That's what I think about when I drive, stuff like that.
History doesn't tell us much about that. Refreshed, recharged and hungry to chew up some more Ks, we head west. The road is a constantly changing beast, or it was until we got to Halls Creek, and then on through Fitzroy Crossing, and now it's straight, right? It's like straight and flat and red, and the termite mounts keep changing. My phone, it's charging, right? So it charges wirelessly. So I've got wireless Apple CarPlay. If you've got Android, same sort of thing, which means I can use the screen here to go to some pretty deep places musically. The low point, I think, was Miley Cyrus Live. High point, Kiss Alive 2. Dark Side of the Moon was weird, but that's the thing about a long drive. You see where you can end up. And just, I know this is not a specific car feature, but when I get flies, you get them, and then this area here, it's almost like a custom designed place for flies to land, and then you just brush them out when you stop. Not a feature, but kind of is a feature. It's hard to know what to stop for. It takes time. You think you'll see things again, like the escarpment at the southern end of Kakadu. The anthills are a constant, but then they constantly change. Red rock bluffs, emus on the roadside, eagles and kangaroos, great sandy wastelands. Now I did have to stop for this. It's a boab. I saw the first one east of the West Australian border, and then there was a forest of them. I go, oh, we're gonna see more. We're gonna see more. And it was like shopping at markets, you know, when you're traveling and you go, I'll see it somewhere else. So I had to stop. Now these are a phenomenal tree. There's one in the far northern Kimberley in the west, where they've written HMC Mermaid 1820, just as someone's tried to write in here. So they've been around for a really long time. And stunning, and a huge history in Western Australia and the Territory. Definitely worth a stop. Ah yes, the great state of Western Australia. Wind your clocks back. It's always felt like the frontier, a faraway place full of strange and beautiful things, because that's what it is. Just off the Savannah Way is Lake Argyle. Almost instantly, things jump to the next level of stunning, including the drive, which is gobsmacking. Lake Argyle is known as the jewel of the Kimberley. It must be the colour, the blue and the red. And it's a question of perspective and scale. Like, what's really amazing is, as you cross the border from the Northern Territory to Western Australia, you'd have no inkling this is even here. There's just one little sign. You just got to follow that road, take that little detour, and you're rewarded with this. I wish we were doing more in Kununurra, I really do, but we've got to keep going. We're heading to Broome, and that bit of land where it goes from the grass to the desert. I've been promised it's there. Can't wait to see it. There was one last thing to do. A dawn raid over the jewel of the Kimberley that is Lake Argyle. It's the only way to understand the size. It's enormous. Completed in 1971, it's 18 times the size of Sydney Harbour. So this is a final Kununurra fling with pilot Tom. So Tom, you're a nice young man from Sydney. When you first came to Kununurra, what did you think?
It was such a beautiful spot. It's so unique, you know. You've got down to the Bungle Bungle Ranges, Lake Argyle where we are now,
yeah.
The Mitchell Falls, you know, it's so many unique places surrounding the one spot. So.
And just getting to fly up here and see it from a different perspective. So the air really is, it's so dramatic, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's absolutely the best way to get around in the Kimberley.
Yeah, and then sort of like at the very beginning we saw that crocodile. We've got a thing for crocodiles, so I don't know where it came from. So we saw it almost straight away, and I sort of hijacked the trip because I'm spending the rest of the time going, oh, where's another one? Are you doing that as well?
Yeah, definitely keeping a lookout for crocodiles. It's definitely one of the things to see up here.
Is it much different in the wet? Because I know we're on the edge of that now. We had a beautiful storm yesterday. And
Yeah. Well, obviously you get all the waterfalls really starting to peak up. You'll see them coming out everywhere. So it's it's definitely different, a lot warmer.
So is one season better than another?
I wouldn't say so. You're really looking at two different seasons. They're unique in their own aspect. So, you know, like you said, it's you know, water flowing off everything during the wet season, and then you come into the dry. It cools down a bit, and everything starts to open up. You can actually start to explore a lot of the places. During the wet, you know, it's only accessible by aircraft.
All right. Well, thanks. This has just been unreal. What a great spot. It's the pinnacle, right?
It is the pinnacle. Yeah.
I'm thinking this is the pinnacle for us too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
We're about 50 k's south of Kununurra, which is the gateway to the East Kimberley, and Lake Argyle is exactly nothing like I thought. I'm embarrassed, genuinely embarrassed to say, I thought it was like Lake Eyre. I thought it was flat, and this is one of the most dramatic, stunning places I think I've ever been, genuinely. Like, it's hard, the spin effects is hard, the rocks are hard, and yet it's incredibly beautiful. And it's ours, and it's right in the middle of our trip. I can't wait to see what's coming. Not every moment is going to be magnificent. West of Fitzroy Crossing, it's pretty, well look, it's straight. But there's your chance to zone in on zoning out. A chance to think, to enjoy the drive. You're in it now, just let go. You'll be there almost before you know it. And through the magic of television, I never thought we'd get here. I'm not even kidding. Broome. Hey, now, I've actually been to Broome a few times, and there are things that you have to do. And the one thing you definitely have to do is get to Cable Beach, get yourself in the ocean, and for sunset, well, look, I won't tell you. I'll show you. This is an institution in Broome, a sunset camel ride on the beautiful Cable Beach. You've got to do it. It's one of those things you literally have to do. But if you can't do it, I'll do it for you. So this lady asked me, is this the backup for your Solterra? Hey? How's this going to go plugging it in? It's the lady in the white. As much as we think it's about camels in the sunset, it's really about the people. This is a genuine holiday experience. So the guy in the hat there, he's from Minnesota. This other bloke's from Perth. There's a Polish lady running along talking to her mum on, iChat or whatever it is, going, Mama, look. The two other ladies up there have quit their jobs and are doing this as a celebration. So it's definitely a Broome thing. It's a must do. Gotta do it. I wish my wife were here. She'd be going, quick, take a photo, it's the golden light. Next, it's north for some culture. On a drive like this, you're going to ask yourself lots of questions. Big questions, life questions, and then smaller questions, like you'll be on the bitumen and you'll see the pin down turn off to the right, that's the red dirt, and go, can I go down there? And well, the Solterra is an EV with capability. So you've got all-wheel drive. So that'll keep you on the road. And you've got your X mode should you need it. And then to cap it off, you've got ground clearance. And it's good ground clearance, just below the Outback. So you put all those things together and the want to go and discover something new, and you got a chance. Well, you got more than a chance. And there's a lot to see. I mean, look at this. And now another question within the question. So a detour off the pin down into more pin down. And this is, wowza, James Price Point. So 35 Ks up the dirt road to this, it's this challenging thing for your eyes. It's the red dirt and the aqua and the blue sky and white puffy clouds. Why wouldn't you turn off? Like seriously? After every turn off, a chance to turn back on. This is a beauty. Cygnet Bay pearls at the top of the Dampier Peninsula. I just didn't think it could get better. So this is Cygnet Bay. It's about 2.5 hours north of Broome. They've been pearl farming here since 1946, and then tourists were allowed to come in about 2009. But what really changed everything was they sealed the road. So it used to be 90 kilometres of dirt road. Now it's sealed most of the way. So we can all come and enjoy it. And it's just another example of the tides. It's not even low tide yet. You can see that line of buoys that they have, and they'll rise on their ropes. So when it's high tide, they know where to come into. We got a day for you. Whew. Should I have said we've got a pearler of a day for you? All right, Dad. Okay, thanks, Dad. Up here, the whole business is no laughing matter. Terry knows it better than anyone.
Today I'm a fourth generation, so I was very lucky to grow up and work on a pearl farm. So I went away for about 20 years and come back to Cygnet Bay. Going away and coming back, seeing a lot of changes over the years. And to come back to a place that you grow up and to come and actually work today brings me so much joy and so much pleasure. And with my little life experience growing up and the amount of stories that I share out here, just so much joy. Yeah, I know the Europeans, so they've been pearl farming since the 40s, but you guys have been here for literally thousands of years. So at the tip of the Dampier Peninsula with the two tribal groups, with the Bardi and Jawi, they've been harvesting the mother of pearl shell for more than 22,000 years. Wow. And again, big part of the culture here in the Dampier Peninsula, because in the Dampier Peninsula we don't do rock art, so the Bardi Jawi do their art on that mother of pearl shell.
The shells?
Just the shell itself.
Oh, wow. And there's people still doing that now? So
in the Dampier Peninsula, probably about 6 men that still carve their family stories on the mother of pearl shell. So a tradition that's still alive today.
Beautiful. And what are you going to show us today?
So today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the cultured pearl industry here at Cygnet Bay. And best pearls in the world? Again, location-wise, we have one of the best locations in the pearling industry. So personally, I'd say we're in one of the best locations. All right, shall we have a look? Definitely. Okay. Yeah.
To help tourists understand the process, Terry's got a tub of 5-year-old oysters that was seeded back in 2020 and then brought in from the farm.
This is the beautiful oyster that I chose today.
Okay, because it was good looking?
A very good looking oyster.
It is a bit of a process, and Terry's not an official technician, though he knows his way around the process.
Can't open this oyster any further than that.
Okay.
Yeah? So now I have to grab this little door stopper. As you see the flat and the rounded surface, in an oyster, there is a rounded and a flat surface.
Okay.
So you grab the little door stopper just on that heel, just to stop the oyster from shutting tight. That's pretty much how much room the technicians...
So it's not even an inch?
Not even an inch.
Oh, it's tender, isn't it?
Very tender. And guys, I'm just gonna flip this one back over just a bit. Release that oyster. So I'm just gonna make a small little hole just in there so we could see a birth of our brand new pearl.
Yeah? You've got a baby, Terry.
Yeah.
You've had a
so
baby.
we got a baby here now. Got a beautiful little baby just in here.
Oh,
yeah?
You can actually say it's stunning.
So mate, I'm gonna pull him out and I'm gonna put it on your hand. So that's Australian South Sea pearl.
Wow.
So that's the end result after 2 years of manual labor. The last thing we would do once the oyster is done with this pearl producing life, they're gonna move all of this mantle out of this mantle and that tissue, and what they sell as pearl meat today is just the abductor muscle.
That's it?
That's it. And get rid of all the good bits, and that's what I'm after.
For bait?
That's gonna be my, I'm gonna miss this one with stir fry and rice this afternoon.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll have that one then.
Don't know what I want.
Thanks, Terry.
No worries.
Beautiful.
Right,
Great
no
work.
worries.
If you're thinking a Broome sunset cruise, you'd be close. But Broome Tours offers a unique experience that's all about the tide. Broome's a really unique place in Australia. It's where the Kimberley joins the Indian Ocean. It's a former frontier town where it now is a full-blown tourist town. And one thing to do is mud crabbing. So that's what we're going to do after a bit of a sail. And to get there, we go on this very unique vehicle. Hey Ryan, the normal thing for Broome, I suppose, if there's a normal thing, it's the sunset cruise, isn't it? And yet we've gone out first thing in the morning.
Yeah, we've gone about it a bit backwards this morning.
Yeah.
Sunset, obviously, being in the west coast, sets over the ocean, and being Broome with the beautiful blue water and the orange landscape makes for an epic sunset.
Yeah, but there's another epic adventure that we're going to have.
Yeah.
Which is not the which is why I wanted to do it. Which is not the normal thing.
This one will be a bit more adventurous and a bit more dangerous, if you will. We're going mud crabbing.
Yeah.
Up one of the creeks in Roebuck Bay.
Okay, and it's not the sort of thing you can do every day, is it?
No, you can only do it the way we do it on a spring tide.
Okay.
So you get a big enough tide 4 or 5 times a fortnight.
Okay.
And today's one of those lucky days.
Rightio. So we're waiting for it's really interesting. The water's completely changed colour. It's that beautiful aqua. Now it's got that sort of silty, sandy sort of mix to it.
We're sitting in about a metre of water right now, waiting for the tide to come up. Once the tide lifts another metre or two, we'll get into the dinghy and start going up the creek.
And that doesn't take long. Remember, these are some of the biggest tides in the world. The idea is pretty straightforward, isn't it?
It's even more straightforward than you think.
Okay.
Just got to hold the float,
Yep.
throw the pot overboard and it'll unravel it as it does, coil it up in your hand.
Yep.
Then once Jackson puts the bow into an appropriate spot, he'll say, you can throw the net in. Throw the net in, hold the float, and then we'll lean up and tie it into a tree.
And just on the tides, this was all dry.
This would have been dry less than an hour ago.
It's amazing.
And in a couple of hours when we leave, the water will be halfway up these green mangroves.
It's the best. It will be dangerous.
Absolutely.
We'll be going, God, I love being alive. Right, give us a go. So literally just spin it out, right?
Yep. Perfect. Coil it up in your hand.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, let's do that again. We've got plenty of pots to get in.
Okay, great. It's pretty hard to stuff up dropping a crab pot. Drop, then tie. Drop, then tie. And repeat.
Okay, so Andrew, when we pull this pot, leave the float in the mangrove.
Okay.
grab hold of the line
Yeah.
and give it a constant pulling motion. It will be snagged on a few mangroves.
Yeah.
That's fine, just pull through the mangroves.
Yeah.
Once you've got the pot, if you can see a crab in it, use your arm like a gang tree, swing it around, and go straight to the esky.
Sound effects?
There's ones hanging on the outside.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fall off in the boat and we'll grab them.
Okay, and then we watch
For
out.
your feet.
Yeah. Oh,
Not even any bait.
We lost our bait.
Nelson!
Nelson! Nelson did the bait. Geez, that must be a big crab, mate. Hey? 2 baits missing. Oh, when crabbing and my bait went missing. No, this is not how it's meant to go.
No.
Which is one of the reasons you do anything, is to experience every facet of it.
Yeah. Please.
I just want to say before this comes up, Ryan, and I've probably done this 3 times and never ever seen a mud nothing. Oh my God. I was so sure we were going to
We are in
get one.
Jacko's spots.
Let's be clear. Nelson tied the baits. Yeah, that's Nelson. And then, when it all seemed lost, Broome and Ryan deliver. And Nelson. Yes, and we have it. Well, it's a small one.
He's still size, but
Is he? Wow, that's such crap. So he's
grab his claws for us. Either his claws or his swimmer.
that one. You hop. Just make sure that
Yeah.
those things don't come anywhere near me, please.
All right, we got a crab.
So we've done it. We've got a mud crab. I knew we would. I didn't think
Yeah.
we would. So I've got
We have little faith.
There's another 9 pots to check, so maybe we'll get some more. Cook him up.
Let's hope so. Let's go.
Whoa.
All right.
Not funny. But is there a favourite part to Broome? Or even the whole top end? Well, it might be that pindan, the red dirt, dusting up almost wherever we go. An extraordinary drive. So why don't you leave me here while I think about Subaru's next Great Australian Detour?